Hello everyone, good evening and very warm welcome to the session of Pakistan Catalyst Society seminar series. And this is our third seminar in this society. So I'm Mohammad Asif, a researcher and founder of Pakistan Catalyst Society, and I will be your host for this evening. And I'm very thankful to the audience and the participant for attending this seminar. And basically, this Pakistan Catalysis Society is a platform for the collaboration and advancing knowledge in catalysis and sustainable chemical processes. And through sessions like these, we hope to spark discussions, inspire research, and contribute to global scientific solutions. Today, we are honored to have Professor Muhammad Bilal, head of the Department of Environmental Sciences, COMSATS University Islamabad-Abbottabad campus, and he will be presenting on basic concepts and mechanism of photocatalytic reactions. And this will be followed by a Q&A sessions in an other meeting that will be started just after this meeting. And it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Professor Muhammad Bilal. He is a leading researcher in adsorption and photocatalytic reactions for wastewater treatment, basically. And he has a notable contributions in academia with almost 80 plus Q1 rank publications and with collaboration with industries in Pakistan, in Saudi Arabia, China, and South Korea. And we are very excited to learn from his experience. So without any delay, we want you all to join me to welcome Professor Dr. Muhammad Bilal for this seminar series. So Professor Dr. Muhammad Bilal, welcome to this platform, and we are very excited to listen your brief lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Asif, for your nice words for me. So, as you know, my name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Bilal. I am from Environmental Nano-Science and Material Research Laboratory, Department of Environmental Sciences, COMSATS University, Islamabad-Abbottabad campus. I will just give my brief of my history, what I was doing since my PhD. So I completed my PhD studies in 2010 on the title Tracking Carbon Pollution in Surface Waters at Watershed Scale. I joined as faculty to COMSATS University, Islamabad-Abbottabad campus in 2010. I built on this course, I built a few collaborations at national level, particularly NAST, Qaid-e-Azam University, Bahauddin Zakariya University, and at international level with some of the universities at Korea, Japan, University of Hail, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Alamudi Water Chair at King Saud University. I established a wastewater treatment laboratory in the field of adsorption and photocatalysis since 2012, won many national and international research grants. I supervised and co-supervised almost 10 doctoral students and more than 20 master students of research. So here is my brief overview, what I was doing during the last 13 to 14 years. Initially, I was working on utilization of the waste biomass as adsorbents for the treatment of metals and dyes from the wastewater. Later on, I converted those biomasses into activated carbon, both physical activated carbon and chemical activated carbon. And later on, we developed some graphene material from the biomass, and we synthesized graphene quantum dots from the citric acid. And right now, we are working on the synthesis of nanoparticles like metal oxide composites and nanomaterials. And as I told you earlier, we were using adsorption and photocatalysis for textile, toxic dyes, and metal treatment. And right now, I'm also looking for the application of nanomaterials for the capture of CO2 and utilization. So today, I will brief you on the utility of graphene quantum dots, decorated metal and non-metal doped nanomaterials for photocatalysis of azo dyes. As we all know, what is photocatalysis? Basically, the application of light, uh, generation of the reactive oxygen species of the catalyst, and application of those reactive oxygen species for the mineralization and breakdown of the organic pollutants. And widespread application of photocatalysis is there for the wastewater treatment, air purification, energy production. And today in my discussion, I am going to focus on the use of titanium dioxide for the application of in photocatalysis of dyes. Titanium has been reported. Yeah. So what are the limitations of this titanium dioxide? The first limitation is its large band gap, that is more than 3.2 electron volt. Second, it is UV light active only. And the third is it is high recombination rate. So to overcome these limitations, there are certain types of modifications amongst. One is the surface modification, and second is the bulk modification. And we focused on the bulk modifications. So in bulk modification, basically, we change the material properties, like we are focusing on titanium. So we change the titanium dioxide properties, both internal as well as on the external surface. So in this study, we doped the titanium dioxide with iron from the metals and non-metals by selecting the nitrogen and graphene quantum dots as dopant materials. So what is graphene quantum dot? It possesses some excellent properties like excellent solubility, chemical inertness, stable photoluminescence, low toxicity. It has tunable band gap properties, very well electron donor acceptor properties, ultra fast charge carrier mobility, and up conversion luminescence are few of the characteristics which make this material as a good choice as a dopant to the materials which are UV active only. So modifications, how those works? Yeah. So sorry. So what it result, the modification, what they result, we increase the absorbance of the titanium dioxide through bulk modifications in the visible region. Visible region constitute almost around 95% of the solar spectrum. So, and the 5% is the almost UV spectrum. So the intention is to convert the material to be active in the visible portion of the visible spectrum of the solar spectrum. And the second is we introduce a new orbital in between the valence band and the conduction band. And the third is we narrow the gap between the valence band and conduction band of the titanium. So these doping species acts as electron and or hole traps. So the target of the today's presentation as a contaminant is we focused on the dye, that is reactive black 5. It contains double azo bonds. So here I am showing you few of the pictures that at currently in Pakistan, the industries, what are they doing with the environment? These are my doctoral students, and at the time of sampling, they observed that every 1 to 2 minutes, the color of the waste effluent is very intense. You can observe here. This is the mainstream. This is the mainstream. This is just the um, uh, exit of the industrial in charge direct into the streams, and very huge intense color you're observing, and this color is quite matchable with what we synthesized in the laboratory. So this definitely it causing huge toxicity to the aquatic life in the surface waters. So basically, what is the mechanism, how it works? When the light, visible light fall on the catalyst, electrons are generated from the valence band to the conduction band, and holes are generated on back. At the valence band, oxidation reaction proceeds with the generation of hydrogen hydroxide radicals, and at the reduction band, that is the covalent, that is the conduction band, reduction process occurs there, and there is, as outlined, H2O2 production and hydroxyl radical, that is the reactive oxygen species, they are generated. And these reactive oxygen species, they attack on the organic contaminant, like in this case is a reactive black 5, and they degrade that into the carbon dioxide and water. So similar kind of end products are produced at both valence band and conduction band. So to resume resynthesize the problem, wide band gap and catalytic activation requirement in the ultraviolet radiation range of the titania pose the main hindrances to its widespread application. Moreover, graphene quantum dot decoration of metal and non-metal dot titania has not been explored for decolorization capability of environmentally hazardous reactive black 5 azotype. So the purpose of this study was to reduce the band gap and shift the UV absorption region from UV to visible region through graphene quantum dot decoration of metal and non-metal dot titania. Moreover, photocatalytic potential of the synthesized nanomaterial was evaluated for reactive black 5 azotype in batch reactor. So the approach was adopted. What we used sol gel synthesis method to synthesize the titania photocatalyst and its application for the decolorization of reactive black 5. So initially, we doped the titania with metal, non-metal doping, and these doped materials were again co-doped with graphene quantum dot. So in metal and non-metal doped titanium particles, we generated 22 iron titania doped materials and 22 nitrogen titania doped materials and 5 iron nitrogen titania doped materials. And graphene quantum dot metal and non-metal doped materials, we prepare 9 each as indicate outlined: graphene quantum dot titania, graphene quantum dot iron titania combination, graphene quantum dot nitrogen titania combination, and finally graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen titania combination. So in total, in this study, we produced 84 nanomaterials. And afterwards, we screen these materials in batch adoption studies, like against the dyes. And we optimize the application of these nanomaterials against the photocatalyst dose and at variable pH and initial dye concentration. Here, I'm not going into the detailed characterization of the material. However, in this presentation, I will present some of the results of the characterization. And you can follow the almost, we have published 4 to 5 papers from this study. So those papers can be tracked in the literature for the detailed overview. We done recycling studies as well. So here are the few results. So our target was to reduce the band gap of the titania, because I already reported you that the band gap was 3.19. So through different dopant ratios, we were able to finally reduce the band gap of the titania to 2.85. Starting from the 3.19 of the benign material, then with iron 2.99, with nitrogen 2.95, with iron nitrogen 2.92, then graphene iron, then graphene quantum dot nitrogen titania 2.91, and finally when we develop the whole material by 3 dopants, we were able to reduce the band gap of the material 2.85, and that was the material that was active in the visible spectrum of the light. So this was the best material what we obtained. And these are the characterization results of the crystallite size. So we obtained the best smallest size of the final graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen titania, like 5.37, as compared to the crystallite size of the titania, that was 36.85 nanometer. And here are the particle size of the same materials through a scanning electron microscope. So here, like, we obtain the particle size against smallest particle size, same particle size of the graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen titania when they were calcined at 300 degrees centigrade temperature. So here we can observe that the titania, when that was calcined at 300 degree, that was showing the particle size of 97 to 150 nanometer. And through different dopant ratios, finally we were able to achieve the finest material with the particle size of 10 to 25 nanometer. So here is the application side of the different materials what we prepared in our studies. First is the iron nitrogen titania, which showing the RB reactive black 5 decolorization at different calcination temperature. And here we can observe that we observed more RB5 decolorization of this nanomaterial when that was calcined at 300 degrees centigrade. And here is the graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen as dopant to the titania. And we observed that when we were increasing the graphene quantum dots loading, we observe maximum decolorization of the reactive black 5 dye when the dopant ratio was 1. And that remained almost same when the dopant was increasing. We were not observing any increase. So we selected finally GQD's ratio 1 with the iron nitrogen titania. And as we can observe here, the effect of catalyst dose. Here, 2 materials are shown in this graph. Iron nitrogen titania when they calcined at 300, and graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen titania when they were calcined at 300 degree. So we can observe that with increasing the photocatalyst doses of both these materials, we observe in first case of iron nitrogen titania, we observed increasing concentration, increasing decolorization when till the level of 1 milligram per liter photocatalyst dose. And however, the second material that was showing smallest particle size same particle size, crystallite size, and smallest band gap that show excellent result at all levels, and that was almost 99% was degrading the reactive black 5 dye in the batch of photocatalysis setup. So when we were increasing the concentration of the dye in the solution from 10 to 100 milligram per liter, so our both materials were showing maximum decolorization till almost 30. However, our finest material, graphene quantum dot, iron, nitrogen, titania, when concealed at 300 degrees centigrade, that shows excellent decolorization capability for the RB5 till 50, and later on decreased, but that decrease was not high, as low as the decolorization capability of iron, nitrogen, titania. Okay, so the still 80% almost the material was showing the degradation potential. Yeah. So here I am presenting you the overall picture of all the materials at increasing concentration of reactive black 5. So first material was iron titania, second was nitrogen titania, third was the combination of both these dopants on the titania, and the fourth was graphene quantum dot iron titania and the graphene quantum dot nitrogen titania, and finally the graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen titania at the increasing concentration of the dye in the solution. So here we can observe that our finest material was here in case if the dye level is 100 milligram per liter. So we observed almost above 80% of the dye decolorizes. And the rest of all the materials, they were showing the decolorization capabilities between 50 to 60 milligram of the dye decolorized. However, the finest material, what to be noted here is that was showing above 80 specifically when the level of the dye was 100 milligram per liter in the solution. So we monitor the decolorization capabilities of our material, finest material, through UV absorption spectra. And with the time we collected the samples from 0 to 60 minutes, and we can observe here the observance that get flat near to 0, and our spectrum RB5 when degraded. So initially we observed the spectrum of few of the rings here and then the second part here, but with the passage of time, both these peaks, they get flat with the increasing time of decolorization takes 60 minutes. So we suppose that our contaminant is degraded till 60 minutes of the time. Yeah. And second, we also observe we conducted the radical trapping experiment using different materials like IPA, silver nitrate, EDTA, and we observed that and yeah, so here is the blank. There was no radical generation when we use our very low radical generation when we use the titania only. Here is the generation of holes, electrons, and hydroxyl radicals. So we can observe that with IPA, with silver nitrate, with EDTA we observed at 60 minutes less generation of the radicals, whole generation. However, we observed maximum the type of radical generation. They were OH, electron, and hole with all these. So they confirm that the electron and hole and hydroxyl radical were generated during the process, and definitely these were the reactive oxygen species that attack the RB5 dye and degrade it on the way. Here is the recycling results of our nanomaterial. We are showing here only 3 nanomaterials. Till fourth cycle, almost 80% our finest material was showing above 80% decolorization capability till the fourth cycle of the regeneration. However, the decrease was obvious with titania, and then with the iron nitrogen titania, and finally very lowest increase in the decolorization capability of our material was observed till fourth cycle. Here I'm showing you the energy calculations, and we estimated the cost of the material, how we considering the temperature, considering the cost of the material, considering the time. So what we found here, our finest material, graphene quantum dot with 28% nitrogen titania. Sorry. Yeah. Material with iron, graphene quantum dot, iron, nitrogen, titania, that was showing almost lowest energy as well as lowest cost of the material, $508. Yeah. And here I am presenting you the overall view of the whole study, what we done in the lab. We observed at 30 milligram of the level of the contaminant in the solution. You can observe here titanium dioxide with this crystallite size, same particle, and band gap. We observed 32% RB5 decolorization, followed by the iron titania, 7.31, 30 to 42.99, band gap 73%. So on the whole, on the way with the finest material, graphene quantum dot 0.1% weight% iron, 20 weight% nitrogen, and titania, at when cancelled at 300, it showed crystallite size significantly low as compared to the benign titania, that is 5.37, same particle size 10 to 2.5, and band gap 2.85, and that degraded our material, our contaminant, our rectoblat 5, almost 100% when the level was 30 milligram per liter in the solution. Yeah. And the same is the decolorization, the same is showing in bar graph, almost 99.9%. Yeah. So to conclude, we successfully synthesized with the required material with the required characteristic and screened as well as optimized the best dye decolorizing photocatalyst for different reaction parameters. So if we give the order of the decolorization capability of our materials, so we observed that titanium was showing lowest decolorization capability, then graphene quantum dot titania, that was showing lower than 0.1 iron titania, that was showing lower than this order we observed on the way. And finally, our material graphene quantum dot iron nitrogen titania was showing highest decolorization capability, lower cost, lower energy, and all those parameters what must be there we achieved in our studies, confirming the heterogeneous photocatalysis and chemisorptive interaction between photocatalyst and RB5 dye. So here are my graduate students. First one, I really appreciate and acknowledge my students. First one is Sayyid Mubashir Hussain Gardezi. He is running the program head for the Department of Environmental Sciences in Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Dr. Hajra, she is working as a lecturer in the University of Haripur. Dr. Jahazeb, he is teaching at high school at some science subjects. Dr. Saqib Khan, he is teaching in Pak Astia Fakhashula University at Haripur. Saeed, he is working in, he graduated, he did some of the research of doctoral in my lab during the time of Corona virus. He was stuck in Pakistan, then he worked in my lab and partially conducted studies in my lab. And he is the major Arfat. He worked on ecological footprints under my direction as co-supervisor. Dr. Noman, he has submitted his thesis. Hopefully he will be graduated in a month time. And both these guys, I am co-supervising them, and they are Nasra. She is about to graduate in next month, and probably she may go in 2025 by February or March. And here is the Asif, who is a co-founder of the Pakistan Catalyst Society. Mashallah, is very energetic. I really appreciate his efforts, and I am very happy to see all these guys. They are working in various at various levels and in various fields of sciences, and they are contributing. This is really my asset, and I am really proud of all these guys. So what I deliver as a teacher, I deliver my message to my students. Always burn your candle with your own energy, with your own investing your own time and investing your own mind energy through your focus, targeted focus, and that definitely will lead you towards services to the science, to the humanity, and to your family and to your country. So this is all about from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Muhammad Bilal, for a nice presentation. So I requested to all guys, please join another session for the question and answer and discussions. So let's finish this session here and join another session just now. I'm just sharing the link to you. Thank you so much, and see you all once again within a few minutes.